So we will present our group project for this, which is the management system. My name is Asma.
My name is Amiratul Balqis. My name is Sofea. My name is Sofea.
This is our C++ program. This is our program. First, we declare and define the function outside the main function. At the beginning of the program, we declare the array. The menu contains only 23 items. It is advisable to set max item to 24, as it reflects the actual number of items. This ensures that the array are appropriately sized to accommodate the item in the menu. That's why we set the max item to 24.
First function in our program is display return. This function is declared with a void return type because the purpose of this function is to display a welcome message and it doesn't need to return any specific value. Structure used in this function is requester and no parameter is used in this function. Second function is check customer information. This function is declared with an integer return type because it returns the number of people in the customer group. This function collects customer information by prompting the user to enter their name and the number of people in their group. It follows a sequential structure and returns the number of people in the group. In this function, we use customer info array to store customer information, and customer info is specifically used to store the customer name. In the get customer information function, the customer is prompted to enter their name, and the input is stored in customer info. Later in the program, this customer name is used for display and summary purposes. It's important to note that array in C++ are zero-indexed, meaning the first element is at index 0. In this case, customer info refers to the first element, which is customer name, in the customer info array. Our third function is display menu. Similar to display greetings, this function has a void return type because its purpose is to display the restaurant menu without returning any specific value.
The next function is display order prompt. This function is declared with a void return type because it prompts the user to place an order and doesn't return any specific value. The purpose is to prompt the user to place an order. For the fifth function is continue order function. The bool return type indicates that this function returns a boolean value, which is true or false. It is designed to determine whether the customer wants to continue order. For the structure is selection while loop. This function asks the user if they want to continue ordering. It uses a while loop for input validation, ensuring that the user enter Y or N. The function returns true if the user want to continue ordering and false otherwise. Next function is customer choice. We declare with void return type. The function handles the user choice by using a switch statement for different menu options. It then calculates the total price based on the quantity ordered and update the order array. It follows a combination of selection and sequential structure. The parameter we use are choice, the user's menu choice, sum, and total sum is the total order amount. Next is category is the we pass by the reference. In the customer choice function, we use array. Here, array are used to store information about the customer's order. Specifically, three array are employed to keep track of the item ordered, their quantities and their price. The array declaration, we have already declared it globally at the beginning of the program, making them accessible throughout the program. Inside the customer choice function, when the customer makes a choice, information about the ordered item is stored in the array. For example, for the chicken chop with a code of 100, the item name, quantity, and price are stored in the array. The array are indexed using choice 100. This is because your menu item code start from 100 and you want to use those code as indices in your array. For example, here, if the customer choose chicken chop, the code is 100. It corresponds to index 0 in the array because of 100 subtraction to 100 and it will become 0. The array here are used to maintain a record of the customer's order, allowing you to track the name, quantities, and price. Is then used in the display summary function to generate a receipt for the customer. The seventh function is calculate service tax. This function returns a double value representing the calculated service tax. The structure for this function is sequential. This function calculates the service tax based on the total order amount. It follows a sequential structure. Parameters is sum is total order amount. Next, return value is double service tax, which is the calculated service tax. Next, the egg function is display summary. Declare this function with void return type. This function display a summary of the order. This function display a summary of the customer's order, including the customer's name, the number of people in the group, a list of ordered items with their quantities and price, any applicable discount, service tax, and the total amount. It uses a for loop to iterate through the array storing order details and print them in a format manners. We use three parameters in this function. The first one is customer name. We pass it by reference. Next is the number of people in the group, and the last one is sum, the total sum of the order. The customer name parameter, we use the const string because of we want the const qualifier for customer name indicate that the parameter won't be modified within the function. In this function, we also include the for loop. The for loop iterate over each element in the array, storing order details, like order item name, order item quantities, and order item price. It runs from I equal to 0 to I less than max item, which is 24 in this case. The reason of this for loop is used to iterate through the order item and print the detail for item with quantities greater than 0. This condition ensure that only items with a quantity greater than 0 are displayed in the summary. The if statement will display the item that we already include in the array customer choice function. So the receipt letter in the expected screen will displaying only item that has been ordered. And at the end of the function, we also put if else. The function used to display discount applied, original price, and discount amount, and final amount after discount. If the original price more than 100 only. If not, we just display total amount and service tax. For the last function is our main function. Here we use structure, sequential, and selection, which is do while loop. The main function organizes the entire program. It includes a do while loop for handling multiple orders. It calls other functions to display greetings, get customer information, display the menu, take orders, and display the summary.